o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. It is time for Legal Lane, and that music is always good, but I have to make sure that music doesn't get on the video because then YouTube mutes the whole thing. We're talking about intellectual property. So Vanessa Jennings is here now. I know we had a call this morning, so this is the time to call. The show is called Legal Lane. The number is 622-9622. Vanessa is an attorney focusing on, I'll just read the whole list, criminal law, contract law, small business law, family law, employment law. We just picked her brain a little tiny bit about what do you call it, intellectual property law?
That's correct.
Hold on, where's your picture? Let me put your picture on there. And if you're looking at the picture, sorry, I had the WOCA logo. That whole copyright thing with that song, it just makes me nervous when we start the show because I want to make sure I don't put it on there because otherwise
Otherwise, the video is pointless. You can't go back and watch it later.
I know, and I can go back and kind of dub over the audio that Robin, because Robin does audio, and then, well, never mind. But
all techie
I
stuff.
could
I like
fix it.
Yeah,
I could fix
Robin,
it.
going to have to
so good.
synchronize.
You brought a handsome young man with you. Is he?
I did.
Anthony Rodriguez, is that right?
That is correct.
You're an attorney also, Anthony? Good morning, Anthony.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
And a Beatle fan? We've already bonded, Robin.
Oh, I noticed you were speaking about that, and he agreed with you about George Harrison, so
Yeah.
you guys have bonded.
And Hey Bulldog. You
We're
love
now
Hey
best
Bulldog?
friends now.
That's
Yeah, right.
one of the most underrated Beatles tunes.
Oh, I love Hey
ever.
Bulldog. Yeah.
This will be the only time we talk about Beatles on
Yeah.
the show.
We'll go out and get coffee, Vanessa. We'll come back.
So how are you? How are things going? And do you have a specific topic you want to talk about?
Things are going well. I don't think we didn't talk about specific topics. So whatever anyone wants to talk about.
Okay.
We'll take calls. We'll answer your questions.
Do you handle people with real estate lawsuits?
I do. I've actually have a couple of them right now. Those aren't my favorite personally, but
Yeah.
I do handle them. Anthony prefers those more. He's
you do?
He is
Property.
he is our new associate at the Jennings law firm. So he is more into the land use development, contracts, real estate side of the law.
Because when you hear about people suing each other for land use, I've often thought, isn't it just a simple solution of getting the guys with the lines to draw a different line?
The surveyors.
Yeah, those guys.
Those guys.
Can we just draw a different line? I mean, why is this such a big deal? I don't understand it ever. I mean, isn't it normally about like a corner of a piece of property or right of way and that kind of stuff?
Sometimes property law, those would be easements, right of ways. But land use deals mostly with government restrictions on development of land. So that would be a developer wishes to build a housing development.
Right.
And the law is the zoning for that specific piece of land. Why any developer would do this, though, I don't know. But let's say it's zoned for
Agriculture.
It's agriculture and environmentally protected land. They would have to go to the city, and they would have to go through a public process to actually get the zoning changed or the city plan amended, and that would lead to it's a whole political,
do you remember-
semi-judicial process.
Do you remember the right around near, was it 475? The one there's 475A and Rev 475.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's the horse farm, and it was zoned
by the school, by the Catholic school?
by Trinity Catholic, correct.
Right.
And they want to put in that huge development there.
Right.
But it wasn't zoned for that. So they had to go through the process that Anthony was just speaking about.
That's
so we've
right.
seen it in our own community where they wanted to change the purpose of the land.
Yeah, that's true. That was one big story.
That was. It was about, a year ago when they went through and got that approved?
Yeah, if that, yeah. So is that considered a lawsuit, or is that just lawyers
It's not-
negotiating?
It's what we call a quasi-judicial process, which is it's semi-political, semi-judicial. It's not really a lawsuit, but contrary to popular belief, you can't just own land and build whatever you want on it. Most of the land is already pre-zoned for specific use.
Your faces when he said quasi-judicial was priceless.
Well, I heard moto. That's what I heard. In my head. So can I ask you kind of a way you do your business? Just curious. So this happens. You got more than one attorney in the same building.
Correct.
Do you all get together around a table and discuss all of the cases, or only certain cases? How does that work for a law firm?
It depends on how the firm is structured and how many attorneys there are. Normally, an associate attorney is assigned specific cases, so we will meet on those cases. But there's other cases that you would bring the associate in just in case, like For instance, if I ever wanted to go out of town for a weekend or take a Friday off, who knew? So that way he would know what's going on in some of the bigger cases that are more complex. But for the most part, he has his list of cases that he wants to do, and then we go through, we meet and talk about them.
If I went into your office, what would I be impressed by? That's a stupid question, but it seems like all attorneys have great furniture. Do you have a lot of great old wood furniture?
The staircase.
The staircase.
Oh, you have a staircase?
It's not that impressive. It's just
love
huge.
staircases.
It is just huge because we're a second floor walk up. So when you open our front doors, you walk straight up
And there you are?
20 stairs,
Oh,
and then
really?
you walk right into the lobby.
Oh,
So-
that's wonderful.
It is. It's different and unique, but I like it.
Well, since Anthony's an associate attorney, when you were looking for Anthony, how did you
I
put the
didn't look
word
for
out for something
I
like
didn't
that?
look for Anthony.
I
Anthony's
actually
on-
came to her.
Oh, okay.
Right. Also, the little tidbit of information, he's also my cousin. So
Oh, okay.
I probably didn't have a choice. No, I'm joking.
None.
No, but he was looking to do stuff in South Florida. He was looking in Tallahassee, and I snagged him.
Oh, okay.
If you're wearing headphones, good. You can hear me, right?
Yes.
So you'll be able to hear the caller. By the way, the phone lines are open for everybody. We want you to call. We had a call this morning. This might be the one right now. I don't know, but we had a call this morning. If you want to call in 622-9622, this is a chance to get some legal questions answered. And Anthony and Vanessa will not charge you. Not right now. Just let you know. It's an opportunity. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, good morning. To put a little perspective on this whole Supreme Court controversy, one of the justices that George Washington asked to have confirmed by the Senate way back in the 1700s was rejected. So it's not a new thing that the Senate might reject a nominee.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Must be listening to a different show. It didn't come up.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
That's okay. I was like, okay, I'll go with it. But he's absolutely correct. There is precedent for it, and I don't believe that was that would have been the first time, but I don't believe that's the only time that anyone's been rejected. The Senate Judiciary Committee, that's their privy whether to accept the nomination or not.
There was a thing that Ben Carson said, since this came up. He was saying the reason the Constitution says it's a lifetime appointment is because people died by the age of 60 back in those days. So I went to my little OK Google thing, and I said, OK Google, what age did Thomas Jefferson die? 83. George Harrison. I'm thinking George Washington died at 67. He was the youngest. And so he said, well, maybe these guys were rich. So Robin thought of a slave, Harriet Tubman. 93!
Well, she was strong. See, there's the difference there. She was a strong one.
Yeah.
Well, when people come to you, how do you conduct the consultation? Because it's usually an emotional thing that they're carrying on them, and they need to have an ear.
Oh, yeah.
I normally walk them through the process. I normally give a little bit of an opening statement. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to sit down, we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to ask you questions, and I'm going to stop you at times. And I let them know that because sometimes they're going to want to tell you everything at once, but one little thing that they might think is not important is what is actually going to be the turning point, whether you have a case or you don't have a case. So as they're going through their story, I'll stop them and I'll ask them a question about, okay, you just said this.
Because you
We'll
have
explain
to.
that.
I mean, you have to kind of decipher whether they are lying to you.
Correct. Well, sometimes it's not whether they're lying, it's whether or not they're just the way that they've looked at it and their
Or
perspective.
embellishing or something.
Sometimes it's just perspective. You view things, one way instead of being another, For instance, let's say a stalking case. Sometimes you have a person are they really truly being stalked, or are they?
I wish I was. I know it's a bad thing. Sometimes it would be nice.
Well, would you like me to start? I mean, I can. I'll just start
That'd be
following you
cool.
around.
That'd be cool. I'd invite you in. I say,
It's like anti-stalking right there. I think it's called friendship.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what that one is. But it's just, it's perspective. And does it rise to the level of what the law says it needs to be? And then that's its own question. It's because the law has its own requirements for for different things. So you need so while it might be something for them and something that is traumatic, it might not qualify under the law. And that's hard. And telling somebody that's hard. And you just walk through the process.
So when we were younger and prettier, Robin is still pretty.
So yesterday. Okay.
Yeah. But we had, because of the radio presence, we would have more people than we have now. You see, there's so many out there. But we would have people now and then showing up at the window with cakes and letters and things like
There's
that.
cakes involved? What?
Yeah.
He had notes on his car when he came out of work. Yeah.
Not anymore.
Nice.
Not anymore. It doesn't happen
Popular
anymore. I lost all that. But
unfortunate.
But I never felt threatened, so I wouldn't have gone to you to say, "Look, I think somebody's stalking me."
Who would feel threatened with a cake? I don't understand.
No, I wouldn't have. But I'm guessing a lady would. I'm guessing ladies in the media. Robin used to get letters from the jail.
From the jail.
I get those. Those are fun.
Oh, you do? Are they wearing clothes?
Oh, I didn't get. I don't think they can get pictures in the jail.
Oh, they were sending her pictures, and they're
Yeah, I guess it was before the. I'm old.
This is my F-350.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that's not what we're looking at.
That's hilarious.
Did somebody violate her by doing that, or no? Or is it up to Robin to decide that?
Was it just one time?
No, there were a few times.
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ask them to stop?
No, I just thought, well, I'll just throw them away.
See, that
don't
wouldn't
like to
rise
cause
to
Just
light.
broke everybody's heart. They said, "Oh man,
I know.
she threw him away."
Now they're upset. They were listening all these years. They're still listening
Yeah,
now.
they're done.
Today they're moving on.
All right, we'll be serious on the other side of the break. We'll take a little break and we'll be right back. If you have a question for Vanessa or for Anthony, we're talking about the law. So if you have a legal concern, maybe it's not yours, maybe somebody in your family, we would love to hear from you. The number is 622-9622. We will be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. A pleasant Friday with sunshine and some clouds, the high 69 to 73. And partly cloudy and cool Friday night with lows ranging from 48 in a few inland spots to 57 along the coast. Partly sunny for Saturday, another nice day, high 73 to 77. For Sunday, some sunshine, high 74 to 78. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Are you in need of custom screen printing, embroidery, or promotional items? Then look no further and come visit the brand new Legacy Team Sales. LTS is conveniently located off 17th Street next to Armstrong Homes in beautiful Ocala. We offer the best prices and highest quality products for your company, team, school, or nonprofit. Whether looking for screen printed shirts, embroidered polos, or travel team uniforms, you'll be sure to find it at Legacy Team Sales. Come visit our new 27,000 square foot facility. Our friendly and knowledgeable sales staff will assist you in every part of your custom purchase. LTS carries the hottest brands in the industry like Under Armour, Russell, Mizuno, Asics, Badger Sports, Gildan, Pacific, Ogio, and many more. At LTS, screen printing embroidery is done in-house and we guarantee customer satisfaction. Stop by, give us a call, or check us out on the web at shoplts.com. Remember the name, LTS.
Bob Kennedy with Berkshire Hathaway Home Team Realty will be on the air Friday at 9:30 a.m. to talk about real estate. Bob will be addressing issues concerning the local real estate market, financing, trends, and even spotlight a listing or two. The program is interactive, and that means your calls are an important part of the show. So whether you're buying, selling, renting, or acting as a landlord, be sure to tune in Fridays 9:30 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source, 96.3 FM and 1370 a.m.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Because music stirs up strong emotions, it makes it easier for our brain to store information about that event. Showering less will definitely help most people's complexions because hot showers melt away the oils that seal in moisture and keep skin supple. Dogs are man's best friend, right? But new research from Nature's Scientific Reports now shows that dogs also do nice things for other dogs.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
WWWOCA, WOCA AM 1370 96.3 FM.
We are talking about the Beatles here off the air, by the way. All right, 10 minutes before 11 o'clock, let's talk law. We kind of have been unfair to Vanessa, haven't we? Vanessa Lane Jennings is here. The show is Legal Lane. Anthony Rodriguez is joining. Anthony is an associate attorney at the Jennings law firm. Your cousins.
That's correct.
Your cousins. Jennings and Rodriguez. It's like two different ethnicities, it seems like. No?
That would be correct.
You don't look
Yes.
Hispanic.
No, but I eat like it.
He's the only one of his siblings who doesn't have some form of looking Hispanic.
Oh, is that
That's
right?
true. I take more
takes
after
more
my
of-
mother's side of the family. It's the Southern American side of the family. My mom's a redhead,
Okay.
freckled. Speaks better Spanish than my dad, though. So,
Oh, really?
yeah.
It is a true story.
So in the news lately, you see Donald Trump suing Ted Cruz.
Always fun and exciting.
We're is the word litigious? Is that the word?
We are a litigious society.
Very litigious
Very much so.
society.
But thank you for being litigious.
That's a good thing?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay,
I have
so-
a job. Absolutely.
So I have a question about that, and just really an opinion question. When we talk about the price of healthcare, I've often wondered if the reason healthcare is so expensive is because we, not you attorneys, but we, the average person, we want to get rich quick. So we go to the hospital, we get an ingrown toenail, and we say, oh my gosh, I'm suing for $100,000 million or whatever.
a gazillion dollars. Absolutely.
And so
Let's do that.
I'm thinking that the relationship that we have with doctors is always through attorneys, and ultimately that's what caused healthcare to be expensive.
I have had more conversations with doctors about that than a little bit, and that is 100% their perspective. That it is our fault as attorneys that we have driven up the cost of healthcare.
Well, not your fault. It would be
because
the client's fault.
We'll take on those cases, though, and we'll take on a smaller case. I necessarily wouldn't, but there's attorneys out there who would. And people are looking to get money.
Yeah. It's like when we play at these assisted living facilities, and they have very little budget to pay for entertainment, so quite often we do it pro bono. Okay. But they pay $4,000 a month, maybe more, to stay there.
Each person.
So the only thing I can figure is that these facilities have to charge that because they're probably the subject of lawsuits all the time.
Oh, slip and fall cases.
Oh, yeah.
Giving the wrong prescription, like if, that'll be the claim. Also, any type of negligence. If someone.
So you have to handle that. You have to give the client who comes to you the benefit of the doubt and say, I'm going to take your word for it that grandma or mom was treated poorly, right?
That's where I start. You listen to them, you judge the credibility of their story and say, okay, I find you credible. I believe what you're saying. But then sometimes you get into it and you find out it's not really the case.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you get into it and you find out it's 10 times worse than the family even thought.
Oh my gosh.
And at that point in time, you're like, okay, well then, here we go.
So then you go down there to the facility or whatever place of business and you actually interview those people too?
Well, we would go down there and we could take pictures. It depends if it's what type of case it is.
They're not going to treat you nice.
They do not treat
They
you
don't?
nice, but no. We've done that, but a lot of it, when we actually talk to them, that's done through depositions. So that's more of a formal process. So everyone's at the court reporter's office, and you're asking, them to bring documents, then going through all the documents.
And unfortunately, it's probably part of life for them. It's probably happening if a family member, let's say they're not trying to get rich quick, maybe they just really believe something was done wrong, then they're going to show up at your office and talk about it. There was another story this morning about a lady who was suing a massage guy in Lake County for sexually abusing her. It didn't spell out what he did, but as soon as she filed that, or whatever she did to make it public, other ladies started showing up and said, yeah, he did the same thing to me. So what do you do with that? Do you make that like a class action suit when you have lots of people?
Well, I don't believe that would probably qualify for a class action suit, because unless he's really going out there and doing it pervasively. But you can add them on as plaintiffs.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Now
Or just have different lawsuits, too.
Now, when you do cases, you have to tell the people how to dress. My brother's on a jury duty this week up in Stark, and there's a Marine being tried for child abuse up there. And my brother said that when he came into the courtroom, he was dressed up in his Marine uniform with all his medals and everything, and he was the one being accused. So do you tell people how to
Absolutely.
dress?
I tell them all the time how to dress. Some listen, some do not listen.
Uh-huh.
But when you go to trial, that's very, very important. How do you judge someone? The first thing you do when you see someone is by
Really?
their appearance. I mean, that is just your initial reaction to a human being is not by what they're saying or anything else, because you're doing it before there's even any cues in that nature. You're looking at what they look like.
Can a judge hold you in contempt if he doesn't like the way you dressed?
A judge can ask you to leave the courtroom, and I could theoretically hold you in contempt. They'd have to go through the contempt process. There's a little hearing that they would have to do.
Oh.
But for instance, in Marion County, you cannot go into the courtroom if you're wearing shorts. You're not allowed to wear shorts in the courtroom. That's just the rule.
So if you probably wouldn't get to that point, but if somehow you did and the judge saw you, he would probably kick you out?
They've gotten reprimanded and told not to do it again and have made very stern warnings, but they normally let it go through, especially if it's in criminal cases. I see it more in criminal cases, not with my clients because they're warned ahead of time. But sometimes, you have public defender clients, or you'll have clients that are pro se, which means they represent themselves, and they'll say, well, I didn't know. And, they're like, well, would you wear shorts to church? And it's Florida, and so some people say yes. I would. We wear flip-flops to church, too. But because it's like going to church.
The consequences would be a lot more embarrassing if a lawyer showed up to court in shorts.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
And there's been attorneys who didn't know there was stuff on calendar and showed up in jeans. So.
Oh my gosh.
And then you apologize profusely, and.
Oh, really?
You move on.
And we move on. We're here now. Thank you, and let's get going.
Oh, really? Is video evidence always allowed, or is that something that has to be approved first?
Well, everything.
Everything has to be approved?
Let's back up. Not that everything has to be approved. Everything is always exchanged, because you normally see like surprise evidence or surprise witnesses and on television. In real life, it doesn't work that way. It's very much controlled, and it's turned over. So I would know if there was any video in a case from the other side, and they would know if there's any video from my side, because you have to exchange that if you want to use it in court. You have to give the opportunity to expect it, and if they want to ask questions or hold a deposition based on what people are saying in there, they can't. So you have to give them that opportunity. So if you want to introduce it, there's steps that you have to go and authenticate it, lay the foundation, and evidentiarily wise, you have to have a reason to enter it.
Yeah, I've often wondered when, like, the newspaper prints a picture of a surveillance camera, somebody robs a convenience store, and they post that picture. I mean, could that person say, "Hey, that wasn't me, and you're making it out to be me. You got the wrong clip of the video. I was the guy after that guy, or the guy before that guy." I mean,
I've had a case that's similar to that.
Oh, really?
And they arrested him for a drug transaction, and my guy was not the guy doing the drug transaction.
Oh, wow! But they got it on the video.
But they had the way the camera was situated. You couldn't see for like 15, 20 seconds, and they were sitting side by side. But then the transaction actually occurred later. They thought it had occurred, earlier in the film, and didn't watch the entire thing.
Wow!
And there was the arrest.
So how did you figure that out?
Yes.
You figure out the timeline?
Well, you could watch it and see. Like if you watch the whole video, and then they do look kind of similar. My client, and the person who were kind of similar, but my client had very distinctive tattoos. Like
Thank God he had tattoos.
There was no question about which.
There's a reason to get a tattoo.
If you're an honest
Just don't get one that says mom, because everybody has mom, right? Yeah. Oh my gosh, we're already out of time. Vanessa, thank you so much. What is your phone number?
My phone number is 352-804-0092.
Thank you for coming in, as always, Vanessa. And Anthony, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you for having me.
We'll talk Beatles another day. We'll be right back.
OCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pam Puso. Harper Lee has died. The award-winning author of To Kill a Mockingbird was 89. Respects are being paid to a late legal giant.
Justice Antonin Scalia's flag-draped casket arrived amid a huge but near silent crowd, escorted up the marble steps by Supreme Court police and dozens of former law clerks.
Fox's Jared Halpern outside the Supreme Court. Among those paying tribute today, President Obama and the First Lady.